Ken, good morning to you, sir.
Young fellow. I think it's just my
Yeah, you're on.
laptop's sorted out. It's been unplugged for a couple of days because I've had people round. So
Yeah, well, it's working now. You're on. I can hear you. Can see you.
super duper pooper scooper. Lovely job.
There we
How
go.
you keeping, buddy?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
You're looking good, man. You're looking good.
Yeah. How about you? We try our bit. It's definitely up here anyway. Over the last few days, it's like, oh yeah, summer's over. And fucking winter's just not too far around the corner at all. The temperatures have dropped a lot. Been raining and windy, dark in the morning time, dark at night time. And today is nice. The sun is out today, so it's not too bad. But it's what was it the other day? It was 13 degrees, 14 degrees, thereabouts.
Bloody hell. It's so different here because like yesterday or the last few days have been, how can I put it? Uh, some days blazingly warm in
Right.
a sort of the late 20s. Yesterday was a strange day because it was like sort of occasional, it was like sunny spells, if you like, bright
Right.
sunshine and hot as Hades 1 minute. Then the next minute, sun goes behind a cloud and you're thinking, oh, perhaps it's all over. Uh, but then it got to sort of the evening or early evening time, really, very early evening time. It was like sort of probably about 6 o'clock
Right.
yesterday. Uh, and it suddenly, it was like overcast. The wind was blowing a hoolie,
Yeah.
and it actually got drafty, really drafty. Quite sort of biting draft. I thought, oh bloody hell! And then this morning, I've woken up to it sort of being sort of lightly overcast. It's not overcast as such. It's not sort of deep grey, but it's just like sort
Right.
of pale cloud everywhere. But the air is still. It's like because it's overcast, it's keeping all the humidity in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's like everywhere is like sort of steamy and sort of almost dew point.
Waiting for that electrical storm, huh?
Oh yeah, that'd be lovely. I love storms. I adore
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Absolutely adore them.
Yeah. I used to love that in Mexico, the rainy season. 3 o'clock,
Oh
4 o'clock.
man.
You'd see it coming across, and then the thunder and then lightning. Ah, what a
It was
you know.
similar in
The,
Malaysia. We used to sit out the balcony and literally
yeah.
just sort of sit there. Oh, here it comes. And like a big black wall
Yeah.
of cloud comes across.
Yeah.
And you can see the cut-off point of the rain across the sea.
Yeah. But it's absolutely glorious, like that too, being able to sort of sit down and just enjoy the electrical show.
Yeah.
Uh, Unreal. Yeah.
I did it once in the Middle East. We had guests over. What was it? I think that was me. Mother-in-law and father-in-law came over to see us. And this was back in Crikey, the early 2000s, about 2001, 2002. They came over and stayed with us. And at the time we were living in this villa that was fairly close to the sea.
Mm.
And so we used to go to this place they called it the Outside Inn, which was basically a pub on the beach. Uh,
Right.
and it was the only booze license in the whole of that emirate. There's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
place called Ajman. And so it's only a sort of small emirate, call it a country, but it's almost like a sort of a city plus a bit,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
But right on the beach there, outside in, we sat out there and it was like, I suppose about 34, 35 degrees in the
Mm.
evening. And we just sat there drinking cold beers, having a bite to eat. And the two electric storms came, this is looking out over the sea, and two electric storms came across the Gulf of Iran.
Mm.
And literally, we're staring out towards Iran, and it was like the two came across and clashed in the middle, sort of well out to sea, well out in the
Mm.
Gulf. And it was just beautiful to watch. Of course, the Gulf isn't tidal because it's enclosed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the sea wasn't disturbed. So the sea was like a mill pond where we were,
Mm.
and yet we were watching these two electric storms clash in the background. It was
Mm. Mm.
beautiful. And the
Yeah.
sound of the thunder just sort of, and it wasn't like the usual sort of claps of thunder. It was just like deep rolling thunder
Yeah. Yeah.
across the
Yeah. Yeah.
sky. Beautiful. Loved it.
Yeah. It's amazing that it's we don't have anything that comes close to that over here. People thinking, oh, the thunder and lightning last night, and they're going on about it, and it's like, what? Like if they were
That wasn't
in
a
some place
storm.
like that where they'd really see it, it's like, whoa. Uh, but look, that's life.
That's it, yeah, and I think it's really it's it's the charm of, or one of the huge charms for me anyway, large part of loving travel and different places.
Yeah,
What people see as exotic,
yeah,
very different places where you
yeah,
get stores like in Malaysia and it sounds like in Mexico and places like that as well. Is where you sort of, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. The storm
yeah.
will be free in a minute, and
Storm
everybody
is
goes,
coming. Yeah,
"What?" And they go,
yeah.
and
Get the beers
floods
ready.
the place
Yeah,
with rain, and then an hour and a half later, you wouldn't believe it actually existed because the
yeah,
sun's out and it's burnt all the water off.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's
Oh,
one
it's
of the
grand.
charms of travel, isn't it? It's like something
Yeah,
completely different.
and like that too. The world has changed so much since then. And it's like I, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be too eager to be traveling to the Gulf nowadays.
No,
Uh,
I was having the same conversation with my son Josh less than a week ago, and it was just he was going because he calls it home,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
from the
yeah.
age of 4 to the age of 18, 19.
That's where he was.
It
Yeah,
was in the Middle East, and all his friends were like from all over the world, but a lot
yeah,
of them were Arabic,
yeah,
and so he still calls it home, and he said, I'd love to go home, but I don't think my home still exists. I said, you're
yeah,
right there, because that was like sort of 30 odd years ago, 32 years ago, 31 years
yeah,
ago
yeah, yeah,
that we landed there. So, it doesn't exist, and especially in Middle East years, because 30 years in the
yeah,
Middle East is like sort of 100 years or
yeah,
120 years of any other city in the world,
yeah.
because it's
Absolutely.
developed so quick.
Yeah. I mean, they had a program on here, and you probably had it over there too. Of Is it Bahrain or Dubai? Dubai, I think. And I remember, like when I was in Dubai, it was like there was one hotel way out in the desert,
Yeah,
and that's essentially what it was desert
and
and
that
tents and stuff like
and
that.
that that
And now
was that
it's like,
was that was
whoa.
either Chicago Beach or Jebel Ali Hotel.
But you see the place now, and it's like, the money that it's just
It's
no.
just it's crazy. The problem with it for me, I admire it, okay,
Yeah,
the way the place has grown, but the problem for me as a person was I saw it, like you say, when it was a sand pit, and there was the
yeah,
odd building here and there, and I drive into Dubai to go and do some business or whatever, and get into Dubai, and you've got like building, uh, sand car park, sand car
yeah,
park, building. And so you go to see the bloke in his building, okay, you just park next to it on the sand.
yeah,
Nobody bothers you or anything else, hardly any traffic on the roads. And just simple things like that. But now it's like sort of 8 and 10 lane highways
yeah,
and up on bridges and et cetera, et cetera.
yeah.
And it used to be like, oh, I feel like going down a pub tonight. Oh, let's go to the Irish Village, which is like the tennis stadium in Dubai.
Mm.
Underneath the tennis stadium, they had this Irish pub, Irish Village. Bloody brilliant it was. There was only two Irish pubs in Dubai at the time,
Mm.
and so we used to go down there, and it was brilliant. We saw all sorts of bands and stuff on it. But literally, it's got a tennis stadium, and it's in the middle of the city, right near the airport. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
and so you've got this tennis stadium there, and surrounding it is like pretty much all sand lots, which is used for car parking.
mm.
And then you go in the tennis stadium. When you come out at night, uh, the police are there. Okay, they're just saying to people, sort of, if you've been drinking, please don't drive. I
Yeah,
mean, but it's like sort of that naive and old school,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Please don't drive. And it actually got to the point where we came out of there one night, and I'd had a lot to drink. And I said to the missus, I said, I'm not driving tonight. Oh no, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I'll be a danger to mankind.
Yeah, yeah.
And as we left there, policeman uh, said to me, "Better English than me," he said to me, he said, please don't drive. I said, no, I've no intention of driving. But the only problem is, the place was packed and there's no taxis or anything. He goes, no problem. He said, we've put on some police cars tonight,
to bring you home.
where you give us your keys, okay, your car keys, and
Yeah,
then we take you home in a police car.
yeah,
They said then tomorrow morning, maybe, or the following day or two, he said get a taxi back, and there'll be a man there with the keys,
yeah, yeah,
and you prove who you are, you get your keys back. And I thought, oh yeah, this is like sort of really organised, it's at the root of things.
yeah.
But it was just that simple then. Now it's like every building has got a pub and every building has got a supermarket and
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean they had the same system in Mexico when I was there. They had the tourist police and like that too. If you were too drunk,
yeah,
one of them would bring your car and you'd get in. Yeah, because it was all Jeeps that they had, or pickup trucks.
yeah,
So but it's a great system.
yeah. They were lovely places because they were so different. Uh, for me, when it started turning, I don't know whether I want to be here anymore, was
Mm,
when we used to go like every weekend. We had motorbikes, me and my son. So every weekend we used to go riding in the desert on motorbikes and
mm,
stuff like that. Or when we had a big Eid holiday, which is like the start and the end of Ramadan, the big Eid holiday, which is like a sort of 4 day weekend. We used to say, right, let's go and camp on Jebel Ali Beach, out by that
mm.
hotel out in the middle of nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
So we go out to Jebel Ali Beach, and it was just like a big open beach, like kilometres long.
Mm,
And we just used to camp there and for 3 or 4 days, ride bikes around and stuff like that. And then they said, right, okay, if you're going to be camping on the beach, you now have to have a license each time you camp. So
all
you've
right.
got to apply for a license to camp on the beach. Then you can't have any barbecues on the beach. Okay, you can't light a barbecue or light a fire on the beach. Okay. And if you want to do fishing, uh, you have to have a fishing license to do that. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it's getting like too many hoops to jump through to do a most basic thing that we enjoyed.
yeah,
And it wasn't like we would do any damage. We used to make sure that we left it as we found it, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
and sometimes better than
yeah.
we found it.
Of course, that's the trouble with a lot of people. A lot of people just leave all the shit there. I mean,
Yeah,
it's the
true.
same. Yeah, you look at the beaches nowadays here, and the amount of shit, even like the festivals, and it's like, that they bring in tents and chairs and all sorts of stuff, and they just leave it all there. And
Yeah,
it's
It's,
like
it's like
there's
it's like a
tons of the stuff.
consumable. We go to the festival, so we'll throw the tent away. At the end of
Yeah,
it, we'll leave the tent, we'll leave the chairs and the
they
sleeping
leave
bags and all the
everything.
rest of it. Just bugger off.
It's I don't get it at all. But you see it on the beaches as well, and you say, "Geez, dirty bastards."
Yeah,
The same start in the forest fires. I mean, we've had the two fires here. Again, people from the barbecue not taking care of it and just leaving it there in the forest, and then the next thing the fucking forest is on fire.
yeah. Oh, surprise, surprise. One thing we used to say to each other in the Middle East was basically, if you're having a barbecue on the beach, okay, how would you want to see it when you turned up in the morning?
Yeah,
Okay, how would you want to find it? Would you want to find it with people's crap everywhere
yeah,
and a half burnt out fire and stuff like that and coals all over the place? Or would you like to see a nice pristine beach
yeah,
that you can then use and clear up your stuff?
yeah,
And we all used to say, oh yes, it's a no-brainer. And I think this sounds racist, but it's not meant as racist. But the problem they've got there is they've got well, at the time anyway, they had a massive uh, workforce of Indian guys, mainly
yeah,
Indians and Pakistani guys. And these were guys like 1 minute, as my foreman used to say, the Indian foreman used to say, he goes, I said, how's that welder doing? He goes, oh, no problem. He said, last week doing this in the field, making seeds in the field.
yeah,
This week, making weld.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
so they come out of the villages and stuff like that, and
yeah,
basically they just sort of get together of when on their one day off a week, uh, and they would all get together and have a big barbecue on the beach and not give a damn about the beach,
yeah, yeah.
you know, because they
Yeah,
weren't educated in it. They didn't understand, you know, and so
yeah,
that's
and
they made all the rules on the back of that because there were thousands of Indians
yeah,
for every if you like European or even Arab.
yeah, and you would think that country people would have more respect for the land and for nature, you know. And it's, I think when you got, I mean, India, such a vast population that you know people living on top of each other,
Yeah.
that it's just, you know, you just walk away, you know.
It's yeah, it's like organized chaos, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
like it's it, I think the concept might be, I don't know, but the concept might be that oh, there's thousands of us here. We're all living on top of each other. If I pick
yeah,
my rubbish up, it's not going to make any difference because the other 20,000 people aren't going to pick theirs up.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it's always somebody else's problem, as it
yeah,
were.
yeah. That's it. And it's a well, you know, I mean, it's the same, and it's a pity, you know, that festivals. I mean, they showed Glastonbury as well, and it's like, you know, I mean, that's like two or three times the size of what's going on over here. And the
Mm.
same thing again, they just get up, walk away, leave everything there.
Yeah, quite
And
literally,
it's like,
they're driving like sort of diggers and tractors around the place to
yeah,
try and tidy it up.
yeah. And it's like crazy stuff and tons of the stuff. And perfectly good tents and shit, you know. It's like, I don't know. The mind boggles, you know.
But yeah, sometimes I think it's the latest generations, but I think that's blaming it on the immediate circumstances. I think what it is it's been over a long period of time, it's been engendered in people that okay, you do this. When we were kids, okay, it was
Yeah,
always like pick your shit up. Okay, if you don't pick it up, you're going to be in trouble. You
yeah,
know, tidy up after yourself. If you're not going to play with those toys, either put them away or stick them in the bin.
yeah,
That sort of thing, you know. But now it's very
exactly.
much like sort of just have at it.
Yeah,
And it's been engendered in people that it's okay. Well, last time we did this, like somebody came along and tidied it up. You know, we had the bin men and we had the parks department and all the rest of it,
yeah,
which we used to have.
yeah. And you get it's gas too. You get the very same people who complain about the council. Look at the state of the place. Council aren't doing their job. You know, it's like,
I'm in an amazing position here because I'm in a place called Wealdon area, Wealdon District Council, which is, I suppose it's about sort of, it's about three quarters or, but let's call it an hour away from Brighton on the south coast.
right.
Okay, so just north east of Brighton. But we're lucky here because this council is unbelievable. The accommodation I'm in here, this council owns still.
Yeah,
It's not a housing association; it's council owned and run. And the areas here are all cut every couple of weeks or every few weeks. Have a
yeah, yeah,
couple of gardeners come round, trim it all back, and all the sort of the because we're in a sort of a two-story complex, if you like, or court,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, and then we've got like the grounds around it. So this council's very good at it, and like council tax and benefits and stuff like that, and rent and all this rest of it is all dealt with by the council because they own the property.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it's like a real old school model, like where it was, oh, I want some council housing,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. And so it's that old school model which is working, and it's so rare, so very rare,
yeah,
because now it's like sort of everything has got 15 sets of margins in it, but I've got, oh, we'll need a consultant to tell us what we need to do on this, that, and the other. And then they'll find subcontractors for us and assess the subcontractors. So we have an approved list of subcontractors who can come in and do the stuff that we used to do ourselves.
yeah.
Even the bin men now are not council. That's
No, it's all private.
contracted
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Everything's
yeah, yeah.
contracted out.
Yeah, I mean, th this is the thing. I mean, that was, Maggie Thatcher's era, that,
Yeah, sell
uh,
it off.
yeah,
It's always
yeah,
sell it off and get somebody else to do it.
yeah. And it's now, I mean, because it's the same here. I mean, they stopped building council houses and affordable homes years and years ago. And
Yeah.
now the prices are just crazy. And it's like, what do we do? And it's like, as I say, you can't go backwards.
Exactly. And the whole thing about it is everywhere you go, I definitely know this country, but everywhere else I've been, uh, they've had to either develop a new system,
Yeah,
but in doing so, luckily the places I've been to have sort of developed it over a period of time. They saw it coming.
yeah,
But here we haven't.
no,
It's just been sort of lockstep. But now in the UK anyway, the only thing you can do really to put in a better system would be to knock down the system that's there at the moment because it's too complex and intertwined with this decision and that decision. Oh, we can't do that because of this, this, and this. Oh, we can't do
yeah,
that because of this, this, and this. So everybody's like, let's go to the status quo. Let's hold the status quo,
yeah,
and then at least it won't get any worse than it does.
yeah, yeah. No, well, look, it is what it is. And it's I mean, that new guy that you have over there now, who's got great uh, aspirations, to change everything and bring things
Yeah.
back. But like you said, the system, it doesn't matter
No.
what sort of ideas you have, the system is already there.
One
And
man can't change that system.
no,
And to be
no,
quite honest, what I'm seeing with a lot of it, and we've had this discussion before, where I feel like now I can see through the bullshit and see through the
yeah,
words,
yeah,
because I'm sitting there looking at it, and to be quite honest with this Andy Bowler, it's all well intentioned. He seems like a
yeah,
nice enough guy, but when he says these things, he's never actually gives you any form of plan of how to do it.
yeah,
This is what I want to do. It's like I've got this vision. I'm a visionary, and I want
yeah,
to make it like this. Okay, but then comes the practicalities of it all, as it did with bloody stupid donkey.
beautiful.
The other fella,
Starmer,
that
Starmer,
old
wasn't it?
start. Yeah,
Yeah,
I used to call him Sturmer, little Stomer bag, full of shit.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But it's the same thing, It's sort of, and then that's when all the U-turns happen. Like it's going to say, "Oh
Mm,
yeah, I want to make it like this. I'm going to take what he's done now. I'm going to for a period of so many months. I'm going to take a VAT off of your electricity bill, and they've worked it out now. Okay, that is going to save you, of the average person, £45 a year. That's £4 a month.
yeah,
Big deal. When we got the highest energy prices in most of the world. And I'm not complaining about it. It is what it is, like I say.
mm,
But it stems back to Maggie because what Maggie did and Maggie's era in the 80s, really, they basically took all this state-owned stuff with fixed prices and fixed costs and stuff like
yeah.
that, and they put it out to this contractor, that contractor, that contractor. So
Privatize
now
it all.
we've got energy providers who don't actually, they're just agents.
Yeah,
So you've got you've got the electricity generator,
yeah,
okay, run by third parties.
yeah,
They put it out through a grid
yeah,
which is owned by third parties, okay,
mm,
and then those that tap into the grid, okay, only tap into the grid in terms of accountancy. All
yeah,
they do is they buy from the grid and sell to you.
yeah. And they're all about making a profit, not about
Yeah,
providing a service.
they've
Yeah,
all got sets of profits, and our electricity where I was before up in Suffolk was owned by I forget what they call it now, but it's French uh, uh, electricity provider,
all right.
SN whatever they call them,
Yeah,
CF
yeah,
or
SNCF or something.
that's it, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
owned by them. So they're not only are they making profits, but their profits aren't even in the UK
Yeah,
or held in the UK. They go straight back to the French government.
yeah,
It's just like a tangled web. And like I say, the only way you can do it is knock it down and start again. But how do you knock down and start again a system
yeah,
of power to every home?
yeah, yeah, because it's too entrenched. But like that too now, we're buying a lot of our electricity from Wales and from England.
Yeah,
Yeah. And same thing, they got the pipes running, and I mean, I remember reading about it. Oh, this was 10, 15 years ago. Like in America, the water, the lake down the road,
yeah.
locals can't have that because some big conglomerate owns it. And they take the water out and they sell it off to somewhere else. And locals don't get that water. And they're like, fucking ludicrous, crazy,
War
you
is
know?
one of the basic uh, rights of human beings, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, well, not anymore. I mean, that crowd, um, Nende Mott, what's it called? Condé Nast. It's a big Swiss conglomerate.
All
It was a
right.
food company, and they own all sorts of stuff. But they've been going around buying up all the water and stuff like that. And same like that in Africa. I mean, in different parts of Africa, you're fucked because they're taking out just exactly what the colonials were doing before. Taking out all the
Yeah.
diamonds or the gold. So they're taking out all the water from the
They're,
local places and bottling up and selling it over in Europe. It's like,
it's basically corporate rape, isn't
yeah,
it?
that's
They're
exactly
raping
what it is. Yeah,
countries, and it's
yeah,
it's just the whole thing beggars belief, really, in a lot of ways. But I think it really sort of people of our age group who've had a bit of time to think about it can just see it, you know. And then you think
yeah.
of young people today, it's like, where do you think your electricity comes from? Oh, my electricity bill's too high. Where do you think it comes from?
Mm,
Well, mine comes from it was Octopus Energy.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. So it comes from Octopus Energy, yeah. So where do they generate it? Is it like local? Because it used to be like local power stations,
Yeah.
uh, and it's all the same provider. Because I can remember when it was where we were back in the day in Chelmsford, it used to be Eastern Electricity, and you go to the Eastern Electricity showroom where they had all
Mm.
the electrical goods because Eastern Electricity produced the power. They ran the power stations, they
Yeah,
ran the grid, and they also had showrooms and stuff like that. So if you were in Chelsea like we were, okay, it's not like oh, I've got to choose a provider. So who's that provider? Oh, Eastern Electricity, and it's on the
mm,
national rate.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
know what your power bill is going to be.
yeah. But who they had somebody on there the other day talking about that, and like he was saying in the 70s, you bought your motor car, it's made in Britain. Electricity made in Britain. This made in Britain. Your knives and forks and cutlery and all that. He says now there's nothing made in Britain. It's all coming from
Well,
China or coming from somewhere else.
no, nobody can
And
afford to make anything major in Britain now because
yeah,
you think like steel mills. Sheffield used to be full of steel mills. They were
mm,
famous for stainless steel. Okay?
yeah,
So they had all the steel mills, but now they can't. Even, the last one's just going pop, or gone pop. Um, but they can't do it because, would you believe, they can't afford the power.
yeah,
And there's like companies going bust, manufacturing companies going bust every fucking day in the UK
yeah,
because they can't afford the power, and their business rates are through the roof, and this and
yeah,
that, and the tax bills, and so nobody can. We're going to be what what they called in the 80s, okay, which we didn't see the writing on the wall for it, but they called it in the 80s. We're going to become a nation of shopkeepers. That's what we
yeah,
are. We buy it in from over there and we sell it to people surrounding us over here.
yeah,
And in doing so, you pay profit to the person who's producing it overseas. You pay profit to the shipping company. You pay profit to the agents and the
yeah.
ship.
Everybody else is making money. Yeah,
Yeah. And then it goes to the wholesalers, then it comes to retailers, and we wonder why it's so bloody expensive in the shop.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
everybody's got a cut of it, you know? And it's just, I don't know. There's no answer to it, really,
no.
other than the fact that the system is basically rubbish.
Well, your man, I think it was that American fella, uh, Tesla, that has Tesla. What's his name?
Oh, Elon Musk.
That's it. He was talking about it now. I think he was probably one of the first ones to start talking about this universal wage,
Yeah,
where he said, with the way things are going at the moment, there won't be any jobs because AI will be doing a lot of this stuff,
yeah,
and that it's only where you need somebody physically. That's the only stuff that'll be there. So to make sure that everybody, that the systems keep working, they where before it was the dole, or now it'll be a universal wage where people
yeah,
don't work anymore. They get a universal wage so that they get enough money to buy the goods that's being built by these big
yeah.
companies.
Regenerate
Yeah,
the economy.
and now I've heard two or three people talk about that now
The,
in the
the,
Gulf and all the rest of it. That this is
it's a
what.
great idea, apart from the fact that it's one of the sort of pillars of communism. And the problem is everybody should be equal, but as long as I'm more equal than you are,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so it doesn't take account of human beings. And what happens to all the entrepreneurs? So I've got this great idea. I want to do
Yeah.
this.
Oh, well, I think you still have the entrepreneurs, but I mean, you could say, well, it's the same as the dole, except it's just under a different name, essentially.
Yeah,
And I mean, in the 70s and the 80s, we had, like 40% of the population was on the dole because there was
yeah.
no work. But you still had entrepreneurs as well, So I think you'll always have that. But I think you'll always have a certain amount of population too who don't want to
Yeah.
work and won't work, and
And to be quite honest with you, I'd like the idea if it's based upon the fact that if you've got skills, you should put them to use.
yeah,
So
absolutely,
somebody was saying it the other day, what they used to do in the UK, long time ago, I can remember, crikey, my dad talking about it back in the 60s and 70s. And
mm,
that is the fact that, if you're on the dole, which back then very few people were on the dole because you had like the manual jobs around. They
yeah,
were
yeah,
saying, "Oh, the jobs are disappearing now,"
yeah,
and so basically, my old man was saying, "He goes, well, what they need to do is they need to say, well, okay, you get your dole money, okay, or your universal wage in this
yeah,
circumstance,
yeah,
but you have to do certain tasks for the community around you.
yeah,
So if you're skillful laying bricks, then you get a universal wage or your dole money, whatever you like to
yeah,
call it. But we need to build these houses over here, so you're a bricklayer on there, okay?
yeah,
Okay, and you can cut the grass and you can do it. So basically, going back to the old days of council, because all the council was organising the people to make
yeah,
sure the tasks were done.
yeah,
And it used to be that you had like the local, like, not the lord of the manor, but like the local sort of senior guy with the big estate and the farms and all the
yeah,
rest of it. He would pay people, and those people would live within their remit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's I
it'd
don't
be
know,
interesting
it's
to see.
difficult because it's change and it's never going to. It's the old adage, you can't please all the people all the time.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what sort of system they come up with all the same. I mean, you're talking about bricklayers. Have you seen that the 3D house?
Ah, yeah, the printed
It's like,
printed concrete and stuff.
yeah, and it's like, whoa. And I can't remember where I saw it, but it was like, this thing just going around,
Yeah, it's like a sort of a large scale 3D printer on your desk.
Yeah. And you're thinking, whoa. Uh, and the house turned out pretty good and all the rest of it. And it's like,
Yeah.
who
The,
knows
the
where it's
the
going to go?
the the sinister end of this is like what a lot of people put it down as a conspiracy theory, but no, some people. maybe overthinking. I don't know. I can't make a judgment on it because I'm not there. But people saying like the WEF saying, "Oh, okay, you'll uh, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy." It's like
Yeah.
it sounds like an instruction, not a vision. It's an instruction. Okay, okay. You won't own anything because we'll own it. All right, and you'll do as you're told, and you'll be happy. All right. If you're not happy, you're not in the system. Off you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Logan's Run.
Yeah, and I suppose like that too. That's the worry, that I mean they've made a couple of movies with that type of scenario where you had the people who lived over here
Yeah,
that were all the system and they had everything and da, and then you had the people who were living over there who had nothing.
yeah. The
And they were
Outcasts.
yeah, and they were living underground and they had to fight for.
Sorry, I've got some light on the bloody screen here.
Oh,
Let's see if I can shut it down a little bit. Sun's come out again from amongst the clouds, mind you. Oh, yeah, the clouds are getting grayer. It's looking a little bit more like rain now. Might be
yeah,
nice though to break the humidity.
yeah.
Right,
Absolutely. Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
That's better.
But
Yes,
yeah,
yeah, I see what you mean because it is. I don't know. We're in an age of projections,
yeah.
if you like. Everybody's saying this computer models it like this, and so we believe in the science. Okay, yeah. If we followed the science right now, we would have in the past listened to uh, the French guy with the electricity guy. I can't remember what his name is now.
Yeah.
But because we'd have free electricity, okay, we'd all be generating free electricity for ourselves. Uh, uh, but I don't know, it goes from one end to the other end. I think in the middle somewhere, there's got to be somebody who can actually make a practical plan of how to make it happen and how to, like, the essence of the system is to please as many people as possible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not to please as many big people as possible, important
Yeah.
people as possible.
Well, have you seen that new project that they're building in is it Saudi Arabia?
Oh, the line.
It yeah, and that's that'll be self-sustaining and there's different quarters, depending on what level you're at. Either you're
Yeah,
living down there or you're living up there. Same as what we're talking about, but
yeah.
everything is there. The food has been grown there, through science, I suppose. And it's a frightening to think that that's the future, that you've got surrounded by desert, but you have this
Yeah,
compound, which is huge. And I don't know how long it was, but and it's like everything is there, that there's
I,
nothing, there's
back
no
in
need
the
for you to
early
go into
days
this.
of planning with that, when they were first
Yeah.
coming up with the vision of it, it was going to go from one side of Saudi Arabia to the other. It was going to
Right,
go. It was going to go from the Bahrain area
straight
over
across.
near the Gulf right across to the Red Sea. Because I was working in a place for a while there. I was working in a place called Yanbu. We used to call it Yanbu on Sea because it was right on the Red Sea coast, but it was a big power
Mm,
plant there, the main power plant for all the chemicals and petrochemical plants there. And but the plan was that it was going to go from Bahrain end right over
straight across.
to Yanbu area,
Yeah.
and it was huge. But the problem that always struck me then was, everybody poo-pooed what Dubai was going to do. But look at Dubai now. But
Mm.
at some point, it becomes money making rather than environment providing. If you see what I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah,
less about the
absolutely.
people and more about the cash. At some point,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
somebody's got to see a return on their cash.
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, the reason I know about it is that one of the companies that I had affiliated to, you were able to buy into this. You were able to
Mm.
invest so much into it, oh, frightening, you know.
Yeah, and it's that sort of dystopian future that has been predicted so many different times, isn't it?
Mm.
And it's less about the hardware and more about the software. If you see what I mean, what are the social implications of it? You know, because if you've got certain means or a certain position, you live up there, and if you
Yeah,
haven't got those positions, you live down there. We're basically going back to the Victorian area where
yeah,
if you haven't got money, then you just shit in the street.
yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's like you said, ghettos. And the distance that this thing was, and that they had monorail going up and down.
No.
But uh,
It's
we probably
it's a
won't.
lovely idea, but I think the problem with visions like that is the fact that the practicalities often not only get in the way, but the social implications uh, stop it in its tracks at some point.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the thing with Saudi Arabia, your man figured, I have all this money. What am I going to
Yeah,
do with it? It's no good in the bank. I got to use it for something.
yeah.
So
Plus,
this
the fact
sounds like a
I
great
want to
idea.
go down in history as the man who
Yeah.
did something for the
So
country. You know.
in many ways, like that too, he's creating the work, like what they used to do here.
Yeah.
They used to have them building roads going nowhere. They keep them busy.
Well, the Chinese do it all over the world, don't they? They basically buy countries in their own in their own country. They've got like sort of ghost cities where they've been building it to keep
Yeah.
the
And nobody
economy
there.
propped
And
up.
yeah,
What they do with them afterwards is almost neither here nor there. That's it. You know, that sort of goes unwritten after that.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I found it quite interesting what the Chinese were doing in Africa because they were going into like not necessarily war-torn but poverty-stricken
yeah,
countries and say we'll build you a road system and we'll build you
yeah.
this and we'll build you
And
that,
we loaned
no
you the
problem
money.
at all. And then when it comes down to it, they basically own the government. The government say,
Yeah,
"Oh, thanks very much." So, oh yeah, well, yeah, your part of the deal is the fact that you've got
yeah,
to do as we tell you.
yeah. Because I mean, that's it. I mean, they did. There was a documentary done on it. The new the new spice route. You remember,
Yeah,
like in Marco Polo's time. So I mean, they were doing the same through Asian countries that weren't as affluent, but they like that too. But they were giving the government the loan of the money.
yeah.
The Chinese workforce came in and built the thing, and everything that went up and down on it was going back to China. So it was like that too.
Basically, they were building a factory in somebody else's country.
Exactly. For the Chinese, for somebody else. And they got the people who owned the land was they were paying for it.
The
Yeah.
interesting thing is, at, at the time of the deal, no doubt it was good for those people or that country because
Oh yeah,
it was influx of work and influx of this
yeah,
and influx of that. Uh, so the intent of it is
yeah,
open to conjecture, you know.
yeah. Because
But
yeah,
it just it's that sort of social implications again of the projects
yeah.
that needs to be
But
studied more.
it was that place that I was in. Now I was thinking, just how long ago was that? And it must be, uh, it's probably 14 years ago. It wasn't Cambodia. It was Laos. No, maybe it was Cambodia. Down by the coast, and you had the beaches there, and you had the small little communities, and you had the street traders and all the rest of it. So the Chinese wanted to build their their new road, so they went in. The same with build hotels. All of the street traders got turfed out. All
Yeah,
of the people who had small businesses got turfed out. They built hotels for the Chinese using Chinese workers. So that the local people who used to have their own business now had nothing,
yeah.
and they were thrown back miles away from the beach and from the prime properties. Uh, yeah, it's. I was
It's
thinking, God,
difficult because you can see it. When I was in Malaysia, this is only like 2019,
yeah,
2018, 2019. And there's a place there where we stayed. And at the time, it was like a sleepy little place called Batu
yeah,
Ferringhi, which is, there was a couple of hotels there. And we stayed in a little guest house, which was basically a tin shack right
yeah,
on the beach. and it was lovely. It was like real old school, sort of charming, bit mosquito, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but since then, we got to know there was a sort of really good tailor down there, Deshan Tailors, and then we go like local restaurants, like all the little local bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But then they came along and they said, right, we're going to knock all of this down and we're going to rebuild it. So you've got
Mm.
more development for more tourists. So we'll
Yeah, yeah,
generate income, generate economy here.
yeah,
But the problem is, it's not a government job; it's a developer job. And they came in from overseas and
yeah.
just knocked it all flat. And I think now there's about 7 or 8 hotels there, and
Mm.
they're all these resorts. I think we said the other day. So can you imagine going somewhere to a resort and never seeing the rest of the place?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it's all about. All inclusive resorts and stuff like that.
But there's so many people that do that though. Same like in the Caribbean and stuff, and in Jamaica, like a lot of the places, a lot of the resorts, you had your 2 weeks in the resort, and that's it. You didn't
Yeah.
see
Oh, what did you see in
what the
Jamaica?
locals
Oh,
were.
we just stayed in a resort. It was all inclusive.
Yeah, and there was no reason to go anywhere, and then it was too
It's,
dangerous to go anywhere because you're
and
told, "Oh, don't go there."
they've
We have everything here for you.
they've even got a name for us. The old schoolers. Cultural tourists, because we do cultural tourism
Yeah,
because we like to see the different places as if it's
see the
something
places. Yeah,
strange or unusual. You know,
yeah, yeah.
and that's the thing. Like somebody said to me the other day, they said, "Oh, if you had a holiday, where would you go?" I said, "I wouldn't mind someone like the lesser known parts of Spain.
Yeah.
I like to go and see Spain. I've seen France a lot. I haven't seen an awful lot of Spain though. And it's just the little bit I have seen, I liked. That was back
Yeah,
in the day. And they said, "Oh yeah, we always go to Spain." Oh yeah, right. Where's Benidorm?
yeah,
I'm sort of Little England on
yeah.
sea. Yeah, well,
That's exactly, yeah,
you can get a great English fryer. You can get a great, full English breakfast.
yeah.
I don't want a full English breakfast. When I go to Spain, I want to. What do the Spanish have for breakfast?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
But that's it, yeah. And I mean, you got to laugh at these people. Oh, yeah, I've done a lot of traveling. I like that too. Resorts here, resorts there. See nothing. Yeah.
And the strange thing is to me as well, yeah. And when people have got pots of money, and I've met a lot of people who had pots of
Mhm.
money, and they said, "Oh yeah," and one of them was an Arab guy that I used to work with, and I say work with, I suppose indirectly for him. He was like one of the directors of his company, and he was a hung out guy. So I love London. I said, "Oh yeah, you love London?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Crap, I hate the place.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
call it the Big Smoke because it's just horrible." He went, "No, no, it's lovely."
yeah,
I said, "What do you do when you go to London?" He goes, "Oh, he said we stay in the I think it was the Tower Hotel or something like that, right by the
yeah,
side of
yeah.
Tower Bridge and all the rest of it." And he said, then we go out, we go to the theatre, we go to this, and we go to that. I said, "Right, okay, so what have you said of London?" He said, "I said, have you been on a London bus? Have you been out? There's not an awful lot to do in London, really, for an average person."
Mm,
And he said, no, not really." He said, "Oh, we saw the Tower of London." I said, "Well, you were staying opposite
yeah,
the Tower of London, so how can you not see it?
yeah.
You got to look out. You look out the window and see the Tower of
There
London."
it is. Yeah,
He
yeah.
said, "No, no, we did the full tour." I said, "Oh, fantastic." Okay, so you go to London every year and you did the full tour once.
Yeah, yeah. Do the touristy thing. But I suppose that's the thing. I suppose cities and counties, that's what they devise the tours that way. So people, they're telling people what they're going to see. It's like saying a color television or a black and white television. And it's like, look, we'll
Yeah.
show you that this is what life is like in the color television. Never mind that one.
And this, I can see the draw of all inclusive. I really can. Okay. I would
Mm.
like to go on an all inclusive holiday because then you know what you're spending and you know what you've signed up
Mm.
for. Okay.
Yeah, but
But
like you
I
said,
couldn't stay there. all day, every day, I would
yeah,
be the first day by the pool, no problem at all. Have a few drinks, have a bite to eat. Say, oh, what's outside the gates? Let's get at
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Let's go and see the place. Let's hire a
yeah,
car or mopeds or something and go and see the
yeah.
place.
But you're seeing what somebody else tells you you're going to see. You know, somebody else has your
Yeah.
itinerary all sorted out, and you know,
Yeah,
this is what
it
you're
is
doing. This
that.
is
And
what
it's
you
like sort of, well, you know, all inclusive. That's in all inclusive resort. You've got a choice. We've got an Italian restaurant, we've got a French restaurant, we've
yeah,
got a Spanish restaurant, and we've got an English restaurant. Fantastic. So you could eat from all over the world in here. You
yeah,
don't have to go
yeah.
outside the gates.
And what the locals eat, you look at it. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, that's yeah. I had to laugh though too. There was some place, and it's like, oh yeah, we get our meat from Australia, and we get this from over there, and this from over there. No. And it's like, well, what have you got here? Oh no, no, we don't eat that. No. Yeah, it's gas.
And it
Well, I mean,
also makes me laugh when they shot themselves in the foot. A lot of the Spanish places, especially when they thought they blamed it on the Brits, which it isn't just the Brits. It's all
mm,
Europeans really.
yeah,
Because you put them in an all inclusive resort, what's the first thing they think? Oh, booze is expensive back home. I'm going to all
yeah,
inclusive resort. I'm going to get pissed as a pudding the whole
yeah,
time, and
yeah,
that includes English, French, German, whoever you are. Okay,
yeah,
and so that's what you're going to do because if it's expensive back home and it's free in the hotel,
yeah.
all right, I'm going to fill my boots. Okay,
Gonna go
I'm
mad.
going to
Yeah,
have at
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
But then they started saying these all inclusive resorts. Oh yeah, you got a limit of like 6 drinks a day,
yeah.
and then they said, "Oh no, we've got a low occupancy rate. What you're selling is cheap booze, mate. All right,
Yeah,
finished."
yeah, yeah. Ah, sure. But I mean, it's good too though to see the thing with FIFA. You know, when your man was over there and Trump started sticking his head in, and all of a sudden it's like,
Uh,
Trump wouldn't it be a good idea now if we sold it. You know, where
Yeah, it's basically turning what should be a sportsman's association
yeah,
into a big business, which is exactly what they've done with football clubs in the UK and
oh,
across the
absolutely,
world,
yeah,
really.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Manchester United is no longer a sporting club, is it?
No,
Manchester United is a bloody money spinner.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. For all of the swag and all the rest of it. But you could see, your man Giovanni or whatever his name is that, definitely coming from
Oh,
Trump.
the
Wasn't his
slimy
idea.
dickhead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm glad he got shot down
It's
anyway.
nice. It's nice to see that UEFA, the FA, and several
Mm,
of the other sort of worldwide associations are kicking back
yeah,
at it.
exactly. Said no way.
Yeah, so they've got this big meeting, or they've had this big meeting. I can't remember what it's, but and I just thought to myself, you could see it a mile off in the US World Cup. Couldn't you?
Mm,
It was turning into okay, well, uh, Trump goes, look, I'm the sponsor of this. I'm paying for
yeah,
all of this. Okay, don't ask how much we're making out of it, but I'm paying for
yeah,
this. So okay, so reverse that red card. Do this. Do that. You need to do
yeah,
this. I want these people to go through to this
yeah.
round. But you can see his manipulation, or not even him, but you can see the corporate manipulation of it. Like
Without a
it's like,
doubt. Yeah,
and this bloody FIFA guy, whatever his bloody name is, I've never heard of him before, to be quite honest. It's not like he was a player at one time, was he?
yeah, yeah. I don't know,
But
but
you see him sort of bouncing around that, and I just thought, oh, second, it's just like a puppet on the puppet
yeah,
strings now. He's
without a doubt. And yeah, all money making
Trump and
thing.
his government are doing a corporate sort of Chinese
Yeah,
string puppet job.
yeah. Because I mean, I remember that the start of it, they were complaining about the price of the tickets. That it was in the thousands.
Yeah.
And Trump and he was saying, well, it's if you want to go, that's what it is. And it's like, well, it's all about,
I tell you what, a lot happened there, and I saw it in Dubai, dare I say, when they were commercialising the rugby sevens in Dubai, because it used to be when back years ago when we used to go to it, the rugby sevens. But the International Rugby Sevens, they stop in Dubai on National Weekend, which is like December the 2nd. Um, so it used to be the Exiles Rugby Club in Dubai was run by a bunch of Europeans, you know, various different nationalities, but it was like a typical rugby club. It wasn't for money or anything else. And
Mm.
once a year, the European-based scaffolders companies used to come in and go, right, okay, we'll build you temporary stadium for this. Then we'll get the International Rugby Sevens in. So sure, they did it. It's never about the money. It was always
Mm.
about getting like 15 or 16,000 Europeans together to watch a game of several games of rugby and the international teams turn up. This is like, I don't know if you've ever seen sevens rugby, but it's like, it's
No.
touch rugby. It's not tackling rugby. It's like sort of fast, 10, 15 minutes each way. And then it's like all fast, very little tackling, but a lot of
Right.
tactical line work. And so they were doing that and doing that and doing that. And then Emirates Airlines stepped up and said, oh, we're going to redevelop all of your area there with Emaar, the local sort of developer, where you are in the Exiles. It's back out in the middle of nowhere, but we're going to build like 8 million houses there and tower
Mm.
blocks and shit like that. So, but we'll rehome you. And out of town, they built them a stadium. Then suddenly it went from like, at the time, it was, I think it was about, get like a, what they call a beer bag when you were at the rugby sevens. You're up on the scaffolding bloody stadium and
Yeah,
get
yeah.
a beer bag of 32 cans. And it worked out as like sort of 50 pence a can. And somewhere in there giving it large. Oh, I'll go and get another couple of bags. I'll go and get 5 or 6 more bags. Everybody coming back, hey, giving it large. There was a big party afterwards. But then it turned from that into, we've got corporate area now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is what was happening in America, I'm sure of it. Have corporate areas. So a large percentage of the tickets, I'm sure, were bought by corporations who then gifted the tickets to clients and
Yeah.
suppliers and people they wanted to get in with and stuff like that. So these $5,000, $6,000 tickets for the rest of
Yeah.
them were just to make up the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. They were trying to make money on those because corporate ones are already pre-booked and sold.
Yeah.
Um, so it was all sort of corporate scratch my back and I'll scratch yours.
Yeah.
And that's how the rugby sevens went. And after that, it was never really a sporting event anymore.
Mm.
It was just about sort of go down there, watch a bit of rugby. But it used to be like a huge get together. It was a 4 day
Yeah.
party, basically. At the end of it, they used to have a free party where your first, I think it was your first 10 beers were free. And they used to put on them sort of big groups at the time. You know, it was, I think I saw a group called Bad Manners there, Madness. They had, I think, maybe even Rod Stewart, a few people like that, you know. But it was like a big old party. But then it turned corporate, and I think that's what they did with the World Cup. They suddenly went, oh, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Not only can we make millions out of this in America, but what we can do now is we can give it a corporate model,
Yeah.
and then we can take it around the world as like an
Yeah.
American sponsored
That's it.
soccer World
Yeah.
Cup, not football. There's soccer now.
Yeah. So isn't that what the Saudis did with the golf? Was it last year or 2 years ago? Where they were getting all of these European golfers and giving them millions to play
Yeah,
in their system instead of the European one. And I maybe remember Rory, what's his name, was complaining about this, that they were, that they were changed and it was no longer about golf for now it was something, a
yeah,
corporate event, and
yeah,
somebody else was
exactly.
owning it and making loads of money out of it.
Yeah, it was Dubai and Saudi and places like that. Their golf courses are big commercial
Yeah,
enterprises. So it was like everybody who wanted to play would make contacts with CEOs of companies and marketing directors of companies and owners of companies and stuff like
yeah,
that, but always meet down the golf course. So, to join one of these golf clubs was like sort of 20, 30,000 dirhams, which was £4,000 or £5,000 a year.
Yeah.
And then you would pay another probably £600, 500, £600 for a round of bloody golf.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it for me, golf always left me cold for that reason.
Mm,
That's the way I saw golf. I was never really sort of exposed to golf as a game until I
yeah.
was
Yeah.
out in the Middle East. And I thought, A, golf it looks okay. I wouldn't mind playing around here and there. It looks okay. I wouldn't get obsessive about it. But also, I looked at it and just said, it's just like, it's the goose laying a golden egg for a lot of people. And it's just
Yeah.
like sort of what they call a networking experience. Let's go and
Yeah.
talk to
For the
somebody
elitists. Yeah.
powerful, see
Yeah.
if I can get in.
Mhm.
Reminds me of an old Brian Ferry single, which also was an old tune anyway. But I'm in with the in crowd.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, well, I remember when I was doing the golf club there, and some of the members there saying, "Oh, you play golf yourself?" And I said, "No." I said, if I had 3 or 4 hours free, I'd find something better to do."
Who was it who said there was a famous person said that golf it's an incredible way to ruin a good walk.
Yeah,
It's strange though. This commercialism aspect. It is like sort of it's the old sort of we're sort of farmed for our consumerism to some degree.
yeah,
And sport for me lost its. I used to like watching local football when I was a lad. I used to play local football as well, but I used to watch local football a lot. Go down to a local sort of game, Chelmsford City. I ended up playing for Chelmsford City for trauma.
mm,
But just as there was a semi-pro team, so you got boot money and stuff like that. A few quid here, a few quid there, and a few pints behind the bar free of charge. Uh, but it was like sort of enthusiastic football. People play football because they love the game and they like the competition. You know? But then it's just like everything turned sort of into a business option. Then somebody said to me the prices of football, the first division at the time, before the Premier League, but first division football tickets, arm and a bloody leg.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I
But I
just
mean,
thought,
that's the thing yeah, I mean, it's just the name now. There is no local football clubs per se. I mean, there's all foreigners that's in the football team.
yeah, exactly. It's like still at amateur level, it's good, which
Mm,
is not the proper football as far as I'm concerned. And just opposite here, just out the window here, look across there's a couple of sort of low level flats there. But then you've got well, the local sort of football, tennis, and sort of little sports club kind of thing.
mm,
And so they have amateur football there each weekend, and it's quite good fun to watch, because people just
mm.
doing it for the hell of it.
Yeah, yeah,
But as soon as you get quite good at it, and you go into the realms of I want to be a footballer, then suddenly it's a business decision. It's like a
yeah,
career
yeah,
now. Uh, Whereas it used to be just a sport event. People get
yeah.
together because they loved it. Um, but I don't know. Perhaps I'm just getting grumpy as I get older. I think.
No, well, I mean, it's the same all over. The boxing, the what's that thing? Cage fighting.
Oh yeah, MMA,
Yeah, yeah,
multiple
yeah,
martial arts. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
it's
it's
yeah. I must admit, I used to go and watch boxing because I liked it. But even then, it was not for the boxing's sake, but around the boxing ring was all sort of I've given him a ticket because I want to get in with him, and it was all the
yeah, yeah.
wide boys. And they're having bets on the side and stuff like that. And there was like sort of part-time bookies there and stuff
Mm,
like that, which is fine. If that's the life you want to live, then go ahead, live it. But it's now become boxing as an event that incorporates all of that, and
yeah.
it's just turns into a showman show. It's like watching that. Like, what do they do? That American wrestling thing, World
Oh,
WWE
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it is.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just pathetic,
yeah,
man. It's like going to the local. Amateur Dramatic Society and
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
one of their plays, but
That's
they're
it.
doing it for money.
It's all smoke and mirrors and I mean I used to love the Saturday rugby with Big Daddy and Giant Hastings
Oh
and all of
God,
them, you
yeah,
know.
it was good, wasn't
Yeah,
it? It was fun
yeah,
because you knew what it was, and
yeah,
it
yeah,
wasn't big money time. It was just like,
yeah,
I remember as a kid we every once in a while when we could afford it, we would go to like a sort of a Butlins kind of place, or a
yeah, yeah,
caravan camp for a
yeah,
holiday, a week's holiday or a couple of weeks holiday. We'll go down there and Saturday night they've got wrestling on. They've got
yeah, yeah,
this guy on, somebody you know from like Sunday afternoon TV,
yeah, yeah,
and it was just funny and fun. Everybody knew it was fake
yeah, yeah,
to some degree. I know it's a hard, bloody life, but it's not competitive and dangerous like they make out in the matches. But it was obvious. It was
yeah,
plain and simple. Everybody enjoyed it.
yeah,
Then it turns into like this travelling shows. It's the old Barnum Circus effect, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. But I suppose that's the thing. As people get affluent and they got more disposable income, that they have to sort of come up with ways to get the money from you.
Yeah, and the interesting thing I find is that it goes back to some of the old adages. It's like everybody says, "Oh, money is the root of all evil." No, it isn't. The quote is, "The love of money is the root
Mm,
of all evil."
yeah,
Okay? And it's the same because the old saying is money can't buy you taste.
mm,
You know, you're right. It can't buy you taste. It can buy you uh, doohickeys that could buy you flash bits and pieces
yeah.
and all the rest of
That's
it.
it. But of course, as they say, money will make more of who you are. So if you're an asshole, you'll even be a bigger asshole with more money.
Exactly.
And if
It's
you're
the
a good guy,
multiplier, isn't
yeah, yeah.
it?
I mean, and that's it. Uh,
There was my uncle Bob. He was a well-to-do man, but did it through being in. He was like head of the parks department for Essex, and he built his way up to there from like trimming the hedges and stuff like that. He built his way right up to it through his career with the local with district council, not district council, county council, and so. But he was a well-to-do man. He was the only person that I knew who had a big old. Do you remember the old P5 Rovers,
oh yeah, yeah.
the P5B coupes and stuff like
They
that?
were nice, yeah.
And he had this beautiful brand new Rover which he bought himself. Okay,
Mm,
and it was like leather bench seats in there. So every time we went around the corner, us kids would slide across the bench seat and stuff.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but it was a well-to-do. It was a well-to-do man in a lot of ways. But he said to me one day, said to us kids one day, he said, "Look, I'm going to go down to Mersey Island, little place in Essex." He said, and it's just beaches. He said, "We can go down there for a day out, stuff like that."
Mm,
Uh, and and so we went down there on this Rover and all the rest of it. Everybody's like staring at us. Crying, must be the VIPs coming into town. And us bloody council house kids flying out.
yeah,
And
yeah,
my
yeah.
Uncle Bob goes, "Come on, kids, let's get down the beach." And so off we went down to the beach and all the rest of it. And then he said, "Right," he said, "who's hungry?" I go, "Yeah, yeah, we're hungry, we're hungry. What we're going to have?" He goes, "Let's go down to Chippy." And so we
Yeah, bag of
drove
chips.
in his Rover up to the chip shop and went into the chippy and all the rest of it. And somebody's a bit of a wag sort of said to him, "Look, surely you're driving around that Rover, you're a big man. What are you doing in a chippy?" He goes, "Remembering I'm not a twat."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Oh
they
yeah,
were some cars, yeah. Yeah.
it's just I find it interesting because now I'm like I say I'm not potless, but I'm I'm getting by, but I
Mm,
haven't got money to spare, if you see what I mean.
mm, mm, mm.
Um, but I'm happier now than when I was earning the big bucks.
Yeah, yeah.
It was when I lost it all, it was a weight off my shoulders, to be quite honest with
Mm,
you. Because they say that, in the drive to earn, if you because my drive at one point, I got lost in life. And my drive was for money because I
Yeah.
thought I was looking after the family better the
Mm.
more money I had.
Yeah.
But in reality, once you've got enough, the rest is just bullshit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so I sort of, I got lost in there, to be quite honest with you. But when I lost it all, and I was back to basics on the bones of my backside, I felt lighter.
Mm.
Felt a lot lighter, and it was nice because that taught me one thing, and that taught me that money is a resultant, not a motive.
Yeah.
Don't go
Yeah.
don't
And
don't go chasing the money, but if the money comes,
yeah.
it's good because
Well, you
it's
see,
a
that's the
result of
thing
something.
too. It's to find out what you love doing and do that, and money will come.
Yeah, exactly. And once
But
again, the
that's where
old
your
adage,
focus should be. Yeah. Yeah.
do what you love,
Yeah.
and you'll never work a day in your life.
Exactly. And that's where the focus should be.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's interesting because I'm sort of reflecting on a lot of things now. My son is going on because he said to me again last week. He said, "Look, Dad," he said, "we want to do something with these children's stories and stuff like that."
Yeah.
After we spoke, I want to do something with that, and it was like almost like he'd been part of a conversation of ours.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said,
Yeah. Yeah.
"We want to do something with that." He goes, "Look, I know you're struggling a bit with websites and videos and stuff like that." He said, "If you do this, this, and this," he said, "with you," he said, I can do the computer and
The other
all the
stuff.
rest
Yeah.
of it." And I said, "That's just a weight off my mind." He said,
Yeah.
"Plus, this is an excuse out of your bloody bag." He said, "Because you've been using it as the excuse not to do it because
Yeah.
you're unsure." He said, "I know you well enough now." I
Mm.
went, "Yeah, you're about right, actually." I'm faltering. And literally, just the other day, I think it was, yeah, it was Monday, 2 days ago.
Mm.
I had the maintenance guys coming in, and so the warden, it's called a she's not just like a housing officer for the local council. She's in 2 days a week, and she's got an office in. And she said to me, she goes, "We got talking." She said, "Oh, hear you do a bit of writing." I said, "Ah, I'm trying my best and just sometimes just to get it out of me." And she said, "Well, why don't we start like a little uh, poetry or writing thing? Got the notice boards
Brilliant.
downstairs."
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah. Yeah.
she said, "If you've got anything uplifting uh, and anything you think people might relate to," she said, "send it to me. We'll see if we can put it up on the notice board and invite other people to make their contributions and stuff like that." Uh,
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, okay, yeah." And it was just like sort of once it's out in the open, the
Yeah.
universe suddenly you can recognize the things that you're being sent or the
Yeah.
ideas you're being sent, kind of thing. Like Jerome sent me a message, and I was for a while there. He was saying to me about this life wave thing, about these
Mm.
patches that make you feel better and all the rest of it. I tried them for a while. They're okay, but nothing special. Uh, but he contacted me the other day and he said, "Do you want to do anything with this, or can I uh, reuse your position in the company?" And she signed me into. I said, "Yeah, to be quite honest with you, I'm retiring all of that, mate. I'm
Mm.
retiring from the life wave thing. I don't really want to be selling products.
No.
I've had enough now. I need to just sort of work out what I want to do for myself."
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, fair enough." But he needed an email from me to do it, and it's just like the universe is telling me, "Okay, yeah, you need now to cross the T's and dot the I's." You need to say, "Well, okay,
Mm.
that's passed. Let's close that down." With the email, I
Yeah.
said to him, "You can do anything you like with my position. It's
Yeah.
fine." Da 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 da. And I thought, yeah, that's it. That's closing that chapter. The universe is
Mm.
giving me a job to close that chapter, to start
Yeah.
a new one, so I can start afresh. And it's nice. It's all been prompted by this move. And I know, where I was before with Donna and her bloody boyfriend, uh, it was like positive energy sponge.
Yeah.
They were both so negative, scared,
Mm,
that they just soaked up my positivity and took it away, if you see what
yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Um, and then when I saw your video the other day of the Holy Well,
All right.
and you were talking about people putting their messages up and stuff like their dreams and stuff like that, and I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
thought to myself, yeah, yeah, the universe is telling me again that I've made the right choice and
Yeah.
I'm talking to the right people, I'm doing the right things, and all I need to do is post what I want to be and what I want to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
out there, and the opportunities will come at me when they appear,
Yeah.
and just be ready to recognise. So it's all quite sort of introspective, but it's quite nice because I just feel like sort of my mind expanding to accept things.
Yeah. And it's amazing too. The men's group that I joined, there's one of the guys, he has his own business and he lives over here and his wife and kids live in the city and he says a year ago, he says, I was an alcoholic, I was all fucked up and da di da di da and he was thrown out of the house and he had to move down there. Uh and he started to go to this, I once called it church, like a Christian group.
Yeah,
They sing hymns and read stuff from the Bible, and it's like a gathering. And he goes to that, and he's a completely different person. But we were talking last night, and exactly what you were just saying there about what do I want now? Because, for the last 30 years, he was doing something for the wife, for the family. And he says, I didn't want to be doing that, but had to be working all these hours to be getting all this money, da 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 da. Da. And he says, now he says, they're not even talking to me, and he says, sometimes they will. And it's like, what was it all about? And kind of like that too now, he was sort of saying, what do I want? From me, what do I want to achieve? What is it that's in here that needs to come out or wants to come out? And so he went away, he got an airbed and he put it in the back of his car, got a little gas cooker and a little coffee thing, and went off way down west, out in the middle of nowhere, just him and the ocean and nothing else. And he said he did stay there for 2 days and just thinking now, what do I want to do? And
mm.
he says, I don't need a lot. He says, I've proven it, I don't need that much money. He says, I can sleep in the car, I can do this, he has a house. And it was coming back to what life was all about,
Yeah,
relaxing.
repositioning yourself in the scheme of things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he's discovering now who he is because for
Oh, it's
years
lovely,
he was
lovely to
somebody else
see.
being part of uh, a marriage and that, and he says now he's discovering who he is and what he likes to do and getting back in touch with when he was like a child or like a young fella, jumping off piers and jumping into water and doing
Yeah,
kayaking and doing all that sort of stuff. And he says brilliant, and it's like he's changed his life around completely. He's out running at 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, jogging for 5 miles and then going in for a swim. And so by 8 o'clock he says he's ready to sit down and do his work. And he'd work till 4 o'clock or whenever, and he'll go again. He'll go for a little jog and go for a swim, and it's bit by bit, But it's
yeah, because we all need to find out what regenerates us.
yeah,
You know,
what makes us feel good.
we're busy giving a lot of the
Yeah,
time. It might be giving in terms of I don't know, go to a job I hate or whatever.
yeah,
But then you've got to work out what regenerates you and what can then replace that thing that you don't like to do.
yeah,
Uh, and I'm still feel at times feel guilty about the fact that I feel lazy now.
yeah,
I could go out and seek work. Okay, yeah, I'm not getting around as best as I can and all the rest of it,
yeah,
but I could go out and seek work. I could go and do this. I could go and do that.
yeah,
but why? You know,
yeah,
if it's not something I want to do,
yeah.
why will I struggle with it now?
But you see, a lot of that is the programming as well. You know, that we were programmed to do that. You have to be doing this and you have to be doing that.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what makes me feel good? What's going to, or how can I make somebody else feel good? And like you said, with your storytelling and your photographs and your poems, I mean, your poems are bloody brilliant. But for that to come out, you have got to be in a position of relaxed and peaceful,
Hmm.
so that spirit can move through you to bring these lovely words out. And it's Susie used to always say that, because I mean she was a brilliant artist, and I was trying to I was trying to push her to do more of that and to get away from the restaurants. And she says, I can't just sit down and start painting. I've got to be in the flow for it and stuff. And I say, yeah. And it's because she was a Buddhist, she always had a different way of looking at things anyway.
Yeah, the beauty of Buddhism, really, to be quite honest with you, is it expresses one thing, and that is the fact that most people think if I do that or if I get that, I'll be happy. But
Mm,
the Buddhism way of thinking is if I'm happy,
yeah. Then I can do
I'll
that.
get
Yeah.
what I need.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got to be happy first, you know.
Yeah,
It was her anniversary yesterday, and it was kind of, I suppose over the weekend, I was kind of thinking, okay, to just be mindful of her and her energy and just
yeah,
sending her love and peace,
because
you know?
the energy doesn't cease. I found because it was uh, it's our wedding anniversary, our old wedding anniversary would be 41 years
Mm,
on the 31st of August. And so about this time of year I started getting, and she died in July,
mm,
just gone, 10th of July. Oh, sorry, 15th of July. And I'd found one of my old poems, my first poem I ever wrote. And I wrote it to her when we first met. When we first got, well, not when we first met, but when we first got together, we realized that we were a couple,
yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
happened pretty quickly. But I wrote that first poem and I just thought, yeah, I've just got to set myself in a position. Her energy is still here.
yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
I keep a photograph of her over there
Mm,
uh, on full display. And when the grandkids come in, they go, "Hello, Nanny Sharon."
yeah, lovely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But she had such positive energy. But she was always one of those people. She was subject to the programming as well. And she said, I don't
Yeah.
know, I still don't know what I'm good at. This was like in her 30s and 40s. She said, I still don't know what I'm good at. I said, well,
Mm,
okay. In her 40s, when we were out in the Middle East, she was a teacher. And she used to teach like young mainly Arabic kids, their first bit of English.
mm,
And so she was opening doors for these kids to a whole new language.
yeah, yeah,
And she was so good at it. They all fell in love with her. All the kids fell in love with her. The parents fell in love with her. And I just said, look what you got, girls. Just that
yeah,
positive
yeah,
energy. And that's with me now. That stays with you
yeah,
when you're that close to someone. And so it's just that, and learn the lessons from it as well.
yeah.
She was always she like when I said, "Oh, I've got this chance to go overseas," because I was out of work and we were losing the house rapidly. I got the chance to, yeah, okay, when do we go? Just like that pure, okay, I laid myself open for the universe to tell us what to do next.
Yeah, yeah.
She was always the spiritual one. I was always the naysayer.
Mm,
I was a hard line boy. No, 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 bloody universe. Don't talk shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But yeah, it is interesting because when you're happy, you see things. You don't see things through rose-tinted spectacles, like they say. You actually see them
yeah.
through clear lenses.
But you attract good things to you as well, though.
Yeah,
Um,
what you put out there comes back at you, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah. And I don't know, it was something that I kind of, because of my stay in hospital when I was in my 20s, that when I came out, when I was in a wheelchair. I was just so happy to be alive and to be able
Oh
to,
God, yeah, the most basic happiness on the face of the
yeah,
planet. But it was
I couldn't
everything
understand.
to you at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I couldn't understand why other people were moaning and groaning. And it's like, you're alive, you've got life, and it's like, what's wrong
Yeah,
with you? And for years, it's only over the last couple of years, after all of the knocks and the put downs, that I was losing my way and I was getting
yeah,
stuck spiraling downwards. Uh, and it was like, again, through our conditioning and our religion, you're not supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be going around
yeah.
beating
You
yourself up.
revert back to your original program.
It's like, fuck that. No, 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 no. You got to be happy. And it's like, oh, it's getting rid of all of that programming, all that negative programming that was put into us. And to kind of get back to the basics, it's like, well, what makes me feel, what makes me smile, and what allows me to come out of myself. And I've noticed within my own self now, with the men's group, every Tuesday is a sauna and swim. And I've been doing it now for a couple of months, I suppose. But I remember, like, at the start, I was just sitting, I wasn't talking, I wasn't saying anything to anybody.
Hmm.
And I find that it's only now that I'm starting to, it's like, yeah, I had closed myself down and closed myself off. And aside from you, our talks every week,
Yeah.
I wasn't communicating with anybody.
You're
And
almost
I was,
protecting yourself from life, aren't you?
yeah. And it was like,
You're assuming that it's all bad.
yeah. And I wasn't and it's like, I was just not, somebody says, God, you're looking good, aren't you? I was smiling. I was feeling happier. And then it's like, oh yeah, I kind of getting back to my own self, or to allowing myself to
Yeah.
come out,
You're basically
that I
getting
was,
yourself back again.
yeah, no longer hiding in the bushes. And now I'm thinking, I've had two responses already for the granny flat, where I had built this area for me and for Susie.
Yeah.
And like, it's at the side of the house, but still a part of the house. But somebody was, my sister, younger sister, was saying, why don't you move over to the main house and let out this part? And I said, oh, no. I rent out one of the rooms in the main house and I stay over here. And I saw a notice there during the week, somebody looking, American lady looking for accommodation. And so I was talking to her. Brilliant. She's in her 40s. She's studying arts, coming over from America, looking for somewhere short time, maybe a year, that kind of way. And I said, yeah. And I said, perfect, because the bus passes the door here to bring you to where she needs to go. And we got on well. And I was thinking, she said, I don't need anything till September. And I said, that's grand. And so when I came back last night from the sauna, I got on, saw there's another notice on Facebook, an Italian girl in her 30s looking for a place. And so I sent her a message and it says, I might have, something. So I'm be moving. I've wrapped my head around it for the last, so I'm be moving from the granny flat over to the main house
Yeah.
and creating a space that I can rent out to somebody. And that'll bring me in money.
Well, it's perfect because
That'll,
it's self-contained, I assume,
yeah,
as part
well,
of the
yeah, well, there's
house.
no kitchen. I mean, shared kitchen, but it has everything
Yeah.
else. But it'll bring in that extra money to pay for the father,
Yeah.
the part that I'm supplementing at the moment. So I won't say be happy street, but it'll be better than I was last week,
It eases it eases some of that conditioning fear, if you like.
Yeah,
It's a bit of a safeguard, isn't it?
yeah, and
Plus the fact you're going to be putting yourself around people
yeah,
again on your own
that's it.
terms.
Yeah, 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 and it's like, yeah, and but it'll also mean me moving from the old me into like a new me,
Yeah.
because I'm moving from this room over to that part. So it'll be adapting stuff completely, and yeah,
It's a new
and
environment. I know it's the same house, but
yeah,
it's a new environment, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. and it'll be, yeah,
And check, and something like sharing a kitchen. I found that when I was in a house share uh, ages ago, uh, before no, it was 2016. I was in a house share, which is basically I was just renting a, a room and bathroom upstairs in this house. And it was like shared kitchen and lounge.
yeah, yeah,
And so basically, I would sort of meet people in the kitchen quite often as
yeah,
we were cooking or eating, and have a nice little chat. So they became quite, a couple of them became quite friendly with
yeah,
us.
yeah,
So it was nice because I wasn't putting myself in a social situation. I was just merely using the kitchen. They were merely using the kitchen. And any words that passed between us, uh, which became conversations in the end,
yeah, yeah,
uh, it was quite nice. It sort of broke the day up a bit, stopped me being so, hiding, like I say, hiding in the bushes.
yeah, yeah,
Just put myself in a situation where I could choose to speak or not to speak, but I was
yeah,
around other people.
yeah,
And that'd be nice, especially as it's on your own turf as well. It's your house, it's not
yeah,
theirs. But everybody's getting something from the situation.
yeah, yeah.
And I think it's quite nice. It's a nice idea. It really is.
Yeah, well, it's you know, I don't want to be using the word, but it's something that's necessary. Uh, but initially, like here, when the Ukrainian war started, and they were looking for people to house Ukrainians, refugees,
Yeah.
and I was saying, the father was here at that time, and I said, we've got 4 bedrooms up there that are empty. We can take in a Ukrainian. Oh, no, 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 I don't want any strangers in my house and all this sort of crack he was coming
Mm.
up with. And I said, you provide in the service. I mean, there's people who need accommodation, people
Yeah.
who are, on rough things, and he had no interest in it, and so, well, he's gone now, and there's still some of his stuff floating around where I'll be sort of getting rid of his energy, transfer
Yeah,
it to
it's
them.
new broom sweeps clean, etc. Plus,
Exactly, yeah,
plus the fact is I know it's not you're not seeing it as a solution. You're seeing it as part of the puzzle coming
yeah,
together. So it's not a solution for anything, but it's got its benefits. You do
absolutely,
that,
yeah,
you can help yourself by changing your circumstances slightly,
yeah, yeah,
both monetary and in fact where you're actually living on a daily basis. Okay.
yeah.
Uh, and you're also helping other people that need accommodation in the area, and
That's
they're
it.
getting it.
Yeah,
So it's all good. It's just part of the puzzle. It's just another one of those positive steps
exactly.
toward the
But
future.
yeah,
Where it takes us, it's like sort of as we discussed before. Where it takes us, we don't know. But if we
no,
just make that step, we might find that we go off on a completely different direction further down the line.
yeah,
But it's one we wouldn't have even had presented to us if we hadn't taken that step in the first place. If you see what I mean.
that's it. That's it. It's exactly it.
It's and there was a great quote the other day. My son told me, and I don't know who the quote was from. He said a man. This quote was, but I don't know whether it was a misquote or whatever. But he said this man said, uh, where I am now is a total of all the blind alleys I've gone up."
Yeah,
Uh, and so and I just thought, you could take that positively or negatively. I have a habit of taking it positively. I just thought, yeah,
mm,
I've gone up a few blind alleys in my time,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they've always led to something different. They've always led to opportunities to do something uh, more in line with what I want. So, well, they're all steps in the right direction. It's
Yeah.
just that you can't, they're not directly there. You go off on blind alleys all the
And
time.
yeah, well, this is it. We can't see it at the time, but it's all of these steps that we took makes us who we are now today.
Yeah, I was just talking. I was down in. We've got like a sort of a lounge area downstairs, like this big old
Mm,
place, and we were having a get together. I was a coffee afternoon or something like that, and I promised the Tracy, the housing officer. Yeah, I said, I'll definitely come down. Some people I still haven't met.
Mm.
It'd be nice to bump into some of the other people that I've already met. So I went down there and it was really good fun. And there was a lady there who was very nicely spoken and all the rest of it. And I thought initially I thought she was the antithesis of me, sort of wide boy Essex lad,
Yeah,
come off
yeah,
from
yeah.
a council house and all the rest of it. And she said, oh, what did you used to do, Ken? I said, oh, I used to be an engineer. She goes, oh, really? Whereabouts? And I said, oh, I was overseas, man. She goes, oh, really? Did you go anywhere near Malawi? I said, oh, yeah, a couple of times, yeah. She goes, oh, fantastic. I lived there for a while in Indonesia. I said, I was in Malaysia. She goes, oh, really? Whereabouts? And it turns out like our paths have obviously crossed
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
vaguely on about 5 or 6 different occasions, but she got me because she knew the traveling or the expat mentality, if you see what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. Like
Yeah,
wherever you go, your friends are your family you've just chosen
yeah,
because
yeah.
you haven't got wide family with you. Uh, so that was nice. And then other people started getting interested in our conversation.
Mm.
And one of the other guys, he said, I've never really sort of travelled that far. He said, I did a load of work in Europe. I said, oh, really? Whereabouts? Oh, I was down in this part of France. Oh, I lived down there for a little while. I was in Limoges. What about you? He said, oh, I
Mm.
was in this small place. We're talking. The, the amount of things you have in common with people
Yeah, yeah.
is quite incredible.
Mm.
And it just makes you feel part of something again.
Yeah.
That's the problem, fairly. I was setting myself apart. Nobody understands me. I was the big I am. Nobody understands me and what I've been
Mm-hmm.
through and what I've done and all and then the ego fell away, and I
Yeah,
suddenly realised that I'm so much in common with these people. And those that
yeah,
I haven't got in common with, I'm interested in what they've done.
yeah, yeah.
It's just nice. One of the guys here, Keith, a really lovely fellow. Him and his wife live a couple of doors down the corridor, and he keeps getting parcels delivered. And bless you,
Possibly.
John. Uh,
Oh,
and and so he brought one of my parcels to my door the other day. He said, I was there collecting my parcel. I said, well, you've got a nice parcel. What is it? He said, you used to be an engineer, didn't you? I said, yeah. He goes, come and have a look at this. Guy's a modelling maniac. He has got
oh,
hundreds of models he's made, everything from like Lego Technic through to buildings, like little sort of steam engines and stuff like that. It's a modelling maniac. All around his living room, shelves, it's just filled with these models. And I was sort of, holy moly, I'm like a kid in a toy shop right now. Oh, where did you get that one? What did you do with this one? He's like, oh, I've still got these ones to do. And he said, and his wife goes, yeah, yes, we've got a deal. If he gets some new models, and on the basis of getting those new models, he needs to get rid of some of the old ones. But it was just like a sort of, yeah, modeling. I used to love modeling.
mm,
I used to love it. It was only, I was nowhere near that sort of level. I was just doing like sort of Airfix models for the local
mm,
model shop. Because he said to me, he said, if you build them and paint them well enough to go in the window, I'll give you 30% off your next model.
mm.
Oh, get to save some money, eh? And so I
Yeah,
used to do
yeah,
it on a
yeah.
regular basis when I was there. In fact, that's right up to when I was a young man. But yeah, it was just nice, sort of, and you see what drives people. His eyes lit up when he realised that I thought it was fantastic. Oh,
Mm,
what a beautiful model. Wow, man. He said, oh, yeah, this one. And I said, what is that one? He said, oh, he said, it's a metal model he put together, which is like a working V8 engine.
whoa.
What? He said, I would get it down, but it's like right up, right up. I said, wow, I
Mm,
didn't even know those. Oh, oh. And I just thought, and his eyes lit up, like it was like sort of, he was
mm.
chuffed, he was proud. And I just thought, yeah, that's what people want. They just want to find a commonality with
Yeah,
others,
yeah, yeah.
but not put themselves out there to find it out. It's like sort of,
Mm.
I'll hide it under a bushel.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I suppose that's life can do that to you sometimes, especially if you've had your fair share of knocks, like most people have. And it's kind of Ah, it's the same with like meeting somebody new. People keep saying, "Why don't you put yourself on one of these date sites?" And yeah, I've signed up, and the day or two, oh, fuck this thing, take myself off again, and it is
Yeah,
kind of saying if it happens, it happens, it's
yeah.
like
You've got to sort of let go of everything that has to be. How can I put it? Everything that has to be allowed without thought of
yeah,
objective.
organic,
Yeah, just let it happen.
yeah,
What's it gonna result in? Don't care. It just
yeah,
feels right now. We'll find out on
yeah,
the day.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, this is the thing um with life. I suppose we gotta put ourselves in the right position to allow things to happen. But I think we need to put our own self in the right condition to allow things to happen by being happy, relaxed, and being open up. And I think then once you're coming from that type of place, you'll
Yeah.
attract you'll attract what you know.
It's like your man go disappearing down to the sea for a couple of days.
Mm,
Just take yourself out of the scenario and just
yeah,
look at stuff and just recognize, wow, the sea's fantastic. I feel a real energy from the sea.
yeah,
And this when you start thinking, oh, I used to love it when this happened. Oh, yeah, I love
yeah.
that. And I don't
That's
like
it.
that. And
Yeah. And he met some lovely people as well down there, and so it was good. He didn't feel lonely or that I'm alone, or, that nobody loves me. Like all of those sort of thoughts disappeared.
there was a I was reading something the other day. It's only a sort of a supposed really sort of little short, like an adage almost, not like a short story, but just somebody's opinion on something, a situation. And he said that sometimes we have to remember in there, which I've heard it said before anyway. But you have to remember in there that fear and excitement are the same emotion. It's just how you
Yeah,
react to them.
exactly.
So he said, although I seemed to be fearful, I was actually excited about the prospects of what might happen that I didn't know about.
Yeah,
Well, well, there's a way to take it, Bob. Like
yeah,
I look out the window or so go somewhere. When I'm taking my photographs, I go somewhere and that looks lovely. I just focus in on the fact that it looks lovely, and
yeah.
that makes me feel good. And I think, actually, yeah, that's why I like taking the photographs because I just focus on something else, and my ego is gone. My
Mm,
ego and my thought processes and my conditioning all go out the window, and I just focus on that, and I just think, well, yeah, I do love this because it calms me. It focuses me on what matters in the moment and what I love about the moment.
mm,
And then at that moment, I was quite often. The other day, I was taking some photographs of the local church just down the road here, and I was just sitting in the graveyard there in the churchyard, and I started taking a few photographs. And the next thing I noticed was, oh, well, there's birds up there. Oh, I can hear them. And they were really clear. And they must have been little martins or something like that,
mm.
flying around getting the insects as they rose from the grass
Yeah, 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 yeah.
in the sunshine. And I think you see, I love it. Oh, look at that. Wow. They've got this big sort of swallow's tail coming off the back, big V-shaped
Mm,
tail. That's lovely. They're flying around. The more I noticed them, the more they did it.
yeah, yeah.
And then I just got back concentrating on the photograph again. I just thought, oh, it's a shame. That gravestone there, it's an old gravestone, obviously looked after. Uh, but there's it's a shame. There's a weed growing there. And I thought, actually, that weed's got a lovely flower on it. Just
Mm,
stupid stuff like that. And it just took me away from my thought processes
mm,
and just made me think of basic stuff. And that's when I come away from there and I now it gives me a twinge of, oh, I want to go back there again. I want to go out and
Mm.
start going out and taking more photographs again.
Yeah, yeah.
And after that, I started writing again. I've written a few lines of a new poem, uh, which is about put it the blocking out the noise in my head and my heart,
Hmm.
which is like I said in that last poem. It's we base tomorrows on yesterdays too
Yeah,
much. We need to open our hearts, get rid of all that junk,
yeah.
that programming we've been speaking about, and just like say, okay, what does it look like? What does it feel like in the future?
Yeah.
Um, so it's along the same lines. So, but it's a different sort of take on it. It's a little bit more sort of developed now. And I just write a few lines when I feel like it, and I'm sure that
Mm.
what will happen is as soon as I go and take some photographs of something I love,
Yeah,
it will start to flow again. That's
yeah,
my
yeah,
spot. That's my happy spot.
yeah, yeah,
Anywhere behind the lens, looking at something I love.
yeah. Brilliant.
But yeah, it's nice. And I find these conversations we have, uh, I react to them in exactly the same way as I said before, and that is that when you're giving somebody advice or telling somebody something, listen to them
Yeah.
because you need to
Listen,
hear them.
exactly. Yeah.
Uh, and so when we have these, I find it cathartic to say these things because then it
Mm.
sets me thinking about them again
Yeah,
and starts me up again. So it's really sort of this is a conversation.
yeah,
There was a kickstart for me.
yeah. And like that too now, I have found that as well, that and especially either talking to you or talking to the guy down in Baltimore, uh, that I need to be listening to this as well, because I need to be reminding myself of what used to, when we're sitting here by ourselves, we can kind of, it's easier to spiral downwards than to spiral upwards,
Oh yeah,
unless,
but
unless we're communicating with somebody else and somebody saying, then we have to start thinking, oh, hang on, I have a solution for that that might work for him. And then hang on, I need that solution too. Yeah.
exactly. So once again, that's something my dad used to say. He said, don't be like water because water will always take the path of least resistance.
Least resistance. Yeah. Yeah. I tell you, your father was a wise man.
And he was also the happiest man I've ever met in my life.
Mm,
He would just take it on the chin.
mm,
When they went down, I can remember when I was a lad, they went down, everyone was going on the 3 day weeks and stuff like that. Well, how are we going to manage? How are we going to manage? How are we going to manage? My dad just said, okay, well, life throws me 3 days a week. That gives me an extra 2 days a week to work in the garden and
yeah.
grow loads of vegetables and fruit and stuff so we can be a bit more self-sufficient.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he would just smile and get on with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant.
And so he was my hero, my mentor. When I lost him, I was overseas. I was bereft for a while because I just thought, oh, one
Mm,
second, not only do I miss him, but I wasn't there.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it is that situation where and these conversations make me remember those situations as well.
Mm,
It's like the spark that sets the fire
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
when you're talking about it, and like I say, giving somebody advice or discussing something, and say, there's the spark. Chuck
Yeah.
it in the
Yeah.
fire, and
Mm.
and it will start something going. That's what it is, and I think I still get I'm still convinced that this there's people out there that would like to take part in these conversations.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
They're almost like a sort of online community.
Mm,
Us old farts banging the world to rights. but
yeah.
it is that, and it just strikes me like if it's doing this for us,
Mm,
maybe we can just spread it. Maybe it's like that Spike Milligan thing about the poem about the smile.
yeah. Yeah.
Smile is
Yeah. Exactly.
infectious.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
catch it.
And I mean, it is true. And there are people out there who, like you said, who are sitting there lonely, spiraling downwards, thinking, I wish this was over,
Is this
instead
it?
of, yeah, yeah. And instead of finding what it is that we have and making those connections with somebody else and realizing that yeah, I still have worth, I've still got value, and and realizing
And the
that and
beauty
finding
of
out.
what we're doing here is the fact that we're not putting ourselves in a social situation, are we?
Mm,
So if people are closed up, if they've closed themselves up, they can be behind. They can even switch the camera off and be
yeah,
behind a microphone if they want.
listen, yeah,
I just think that, if we're getting benefit from it, you know, maybe other people are doing it. I don't know. Maybe we'll find those people
mm,
that are already doing it, and we can learn something from them and stuff like that. But I just get this feeling now, this push to say, well, okay, well, this we need to do this with other people as well, include other
yeah,
people. Maybe we just need to do what I keep saying I'm going to bloody do, and that is maybe sort of edit one up and stick it on Tinternet, stick it
there you
on
go.
YouTube, just test the water.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
obviously, I'd run it past you first because
yeah, yeah.
I don't want any of us, either of us, to be sort of put out by anything
No,
we say or anything
absolutely.
like that.
If you get the inclination to do that, by all means, do it. You know.
Yeah, and I think it'd be nice because I get a lot from talking to you, and
Mm,
I think there's many other people who would find the same with you as well.
mm,
Uh, and it's nice because you see it from a how can I put it? It's not a focused position. It's not somebody you know. It's somebody living somewhere else
yeah.
who you've never met before, and just talking about what they did or what they think or what they've heard and stuff
Mm,
like that. And you can, if somebody picks up 1% of it and runs with it, and
yeah.
it does them good, then it's almost criminal not to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, on that note, Ken, it's coming up to 20 to 11.
Bloody hell!
Yeah.
We've
I
done
got
it
to
again.
get
At
my
least the
chicken in
world's
the oven.
bent to rights now.
Yeah, that's it. I, I'll post this out to you as soon as it's done.
Super duper, mate.
And
Lovely chubby.
we'll talk to you soon. And like that too now, I spent the whole, well, not just this week, probably 2 or 3 weeks wrapping my head around Canva, how to use Canva. Don't know if
Yeah,
you ever used it before. And it's like, started it yesterday. I said, I'm not going to let it get me. I'm going to
yeah.
bang away. And I got, yeah, boom, boom, boom. Nice. And then I pressed something and it's like, where's it gone?
The
Ah,
story of my life,
I said,
mate.
I said, I'll leave it alone and I'll get back to it. I'll
That's it.
find it.
Do it when you get the mood again. That's the
Exactly.
thing. Like when you write, you do it when you're in the mood.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's it.
so it's just
But
it is what it is.
yeah,
It's most our generation is most of us, to be quite honest with you, because we didn't grow up with screens and computers the whole of our
no,
lives, did we?
no,
We've been
no.
introduced
And
to it
this is
fairly
it.
late in life.
Yeah. And like that too now, I told the father I'd be there with him today. For the last 3 times I was with him, I said, oh, you need a haircut. I'll do that next week. And of course, next week comes and goes. I've so I got my trimmers there ready. I have them in the bag on the kitchen table, ready to go. And I said, right, this afternoon, going out, cut the father's hair, you know.
Perfect. All right, mate.
Feel good.
You have a blessed day and a blessed week, mate.
You too. Take care.